Hello everybody, I am Varsha Shetty from Sant Tukaram National Model School, Latur. In today's session, we will discuss Rutherford atomic model. According to the Rutherford, the atom is a very small particle which consists of the positive charge at the center. Also, inside the atom, according to the Rutherford, the electrons are present around the nucleus in the specific orbits, and the whole mass of the atom is concentrated at the center of the atom. To understand the structure of the atom represented by the Rutherford, we should understand his alpha scattering experiment. Before going to the alpha scattering experiment, once we recall the Thomson's atomic model. According to the Thomson's, the atom is a positively charged sphere. Atom is a positively charged sphere in which the electrons are embedded. He compared his model with plum pudding, and that's why the Thomson's model of atom is also called as a plum pudding model. We can compare this Thomson's model of atom with our watermelon. In watermelon, red edible part is more than the black seeds. So this red edible part is nothing but the positive charge which is spread throughout the atom, and the black seeds are our negatively charged electron. So this is nothing but our Thomson's model of a atom. Now go toward the Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. Actually, the Rutherford wanted to know the exact position of the electron inside the atom, and that's why he did the different experiment. Out of his different experiment, one of the experiment is nothing but alpha scattering experiment. This is nothing but the arrangement of the alpha scattering experiment. He used the alpha particle during his experiment. Why he selected the alpha particle? Because the alpha particles are the positively charged particle. Also, it possesses a high energy and they are heavier than our proton. He kept the source of alpha particle, that is nothing but the radium, in the lead box, and these red color particles are nothing but our alpha particle. During the weight of the alpha particle, he kept the gold foil. One of the important question is that why he selected the gold foil? Because of the malleability of the gold. He wanted very thin sheet, and that's why he selected the gold element to prepare the foil. To study the deflections shown by the alpha particle, he kept a fluorescent zinc sulfide screen, and with the help of this screen, he was able to do the study of the deflections shown by the alpha particle. So this is nothing but the arrangement of the alpha scattering experiment. Now, what was the expectations on the basis of our Thomson's atomic model? It was expected that the most of the alpha particles should shows the deflection, because our alpha particles are also the positively charged particles, and the atom also consists of positively charged proton. This was the expectation, but actual results are totally different. The actual results are, I am showing here with the help of this diagram. Look at this diagram. When the alpha particles bombarded on the gold foil, most of these alpha particles passed straight without showing any deflection. Some of the alpha particles shows a little deflection, and very few particles rebounds from the gold foil. So this is the actual result. This is the actual result. With the help of the next picture also, we can get the observations of the alpha scattering experiment. Look at this. Whenever these alpha particles which are coming from the source, when they bombarded on this gold foil, most of these alpha particles passing foil without showing any deviation, and very few particles rebound or they deviated through the 180 degree. So what we can say, or what are the observations of our alpha scattering experiment? The first observation is that most of the alpha particles passed straight through the gold foil without any deviation. The second observation is that some of the alpha particles were deflected by the gold foil by little angle or by some angle. And what was the third observation? The third observation was that out of 12,000 alpha particles, only 1 or 2 particles appeared to rebound from the gold foil. So these are the observations of our Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. Now what is the conclusion of this alpha scattering experiment? The first conclusion is that most of the space inside the atom is empty. Why we can say that? Because the most of the alpha particle passed through the gold foil without showing any deflection. That's why we can say that most of the space inside the atom is empty. The second conclusion is that whatever the positive charge present inside the atom, it occupies the very little space, because very few particles shows the deflection by the small atoms. That's why we can say that the positive charge present inside the atom occupies a very little volume. And go toward the last conclusion. The last conclusion is that all the mass of the atom is concentrated in a very small volume inside the atom. Or we can say that all the mass of the atom is concentrated at the center, because out of 12,000 particles, only 2 particles rebound. That means whatever the mass of the atom, it is occupies very little space, and that's why only 2 particles rebound from the gold foil. So these are the conclusions of our alpha scattering experiment. Once again, see the structure of the atom, or actually the Rutherford atomic model. So according to the Rutherford, the positive charge is present at the center, and that is nothing but our nucleus. The negatively charged electrons are present around this nucleus, and they are continuously in a motion, and they are present in a specific orbits. And the third is that whatever the mass of the atom, it is concentrated at the center. So this is nothing but our Rutherford atomic model. What are the limitations of the Rutherford atomic model? We will see in the next session. Thank you once again.